I am so glad you came back to Planet in the Word. I'm really honored that you would bother to come by and see anything I had to say again. And please forgive my backdrop as I figure this hot mess out, but I'm just going to go ahead and record a video and then we'll see where it goes from there. But today I'm going to start a new series all about foundations. And foundations are really important. I don't think that we spend very much time thinking about them until, say, you go to remodel your house and discover that you had a bad pour on your foundation and you have to spend 2 weeks wet cement grinding down your foundation so that you can lay your new laminate flooring. Ask me how I know this. Bad foundations can be very expensive. The other thing is, if you think about bad foundations in our lives, they're also very expensive because we have to go in and correct them. And foundations are the things that everything else rests on. I think that's one of the reasons why that verse is so striking to us about the foundations on the sand and the foundation being laid on the rock, and the Lord showing us the illustration of the only way that your life is going to be able to stand the test of time if it's built on a really strong foundation. Interestingly, one of my I've been following this story out of San Francisco where the Millennial Tower was built. Back in 2009, the Millennial Tower in San Francisco was completed, and it was, I believe, a 59-story residential tower that some people paid upward of $10 million to buy into. Unfortunately, over 10 years later, the tower has sunk 18 inches and it's now leaning 14 inches, and this is causing huge problems. In retrospect, it's been discovered that they chose to save some money, and how they did that was by sending their foundation pilings only down 80 feet. And the 80 feet, at that point, they landed on compacted sand, and that was where they stopped. Therefore, 18 inches, 14 inches. Interestingly enough, right across the streets, another residential tower was being built. And of course, to updo the Millennial Tower by a couple stories, it's going to be 61 stories tall, and it's the Salesforce Tower. And that is an interesting story because on August 15th of 2016, the Salesforce Tower posted on Twitter just 2 words, taking a poke at their neighbor, the Millennial Tower. And all they said was, "Bedrock, baby." Why? Because they had spent the money, effort, and time to dig their foundation down over 200 feet, so their pilings were resting on bedrock. There was no way that building was going to lean. And of course, it's a poke, but we all understand. To the people that invested $10 million, there's an issue going on there. Foundations are very important. As we begin to start this particular series, some of it will be a little bit theological, because you have to understand, if we're going to lay a foundation, what is that foundation going to be laid on? And some of it's going to be very tangible. You're going to be able to touch it and examine it. We're going to talk about translations. We're going to talk about how did you end up with these 66 books in your Bible, and what's in and what was out, and what was the standard and the criteria. And there even might be a little bit of homework I encourage you to do. But this very short series is going to be all about helping you lay a really strong foundation, so that as you begin to build your life by studying the Word, that you have some knowledge to place it on, because it's knowledge that brings understanding, and it's understanding that brings revelation. And what we're really going for is revelation. But we have to start out with a good foundation in order to get a plumb, level, and square revelation that we understand also. So once again, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you will join me next time. This is just the introduction to this, and we'll be laying a larger foundation next time. Bye-bye.